Today is show and tell. It's an opportunity for artists to come and present to us what their proposals for shows for our upcoming year's programming.
We get a really interesting pool of people, so it's a very broad spectrum. And it's also really good for the artists because a lot of the people that we have are new artists and people who haven't presented before, so they kind of get a feel for how that process is going to go when they enter the vast field that is art and they go present at other places. So it's been really good for them too, I think, to learn how to talk about their artwork and themselves. And
yeah, most proposals are written, so having people give a spoken proposal, even if there's some kind of media component to it, is different than the way it's usually done. And I think that makes people think about it differently and present it differently, and that's been pretty interesting.
I call my entity Poetry in Pics, and my mantra is let's get amped, amplified about art, music, and poetry. So it's like an amplifier. I write poetry. I've been writing poetry since I was probably like 7. And I sing, and I do art pieces. I basically convert my poetry into poetic art pieces. So if you came and saw a show of mine, you can physically read the poetry on the art, and then you can hear me with spoken word, and you can actually hear me sing it. So it's an amplifier on art, music, and poetry. It was actually very comfortable. I am an emerging artist, and I have never done a show and tell before. And my worries was, am I good enough to come and do that? But I think with art, it's an expression about how you feel. And poetry and music is how you actually feel about it and how you feel about yourself and how you're expressing it. And I thought if I came out to do show and tell, it's possible that I might do a show, maybe later on here. And I think it's good to have like organizations like Eyedrum that will actually do that, because when you're new to the art scene or the music scene, you really don't know where to start sometimes, and that's the hardest thing about getting your name out there and letting people know what you do. And that's one of the hardest things.
I showed the committee today my work of swirls, my designs, my evolution from the time I was about 8 or 9 years old, or during their conception, to about now. I think it went really well. I had positive feedback as far as the designs and as far as looking forward to possibly putting a show together.
I showed this little collage that I did very recently. It is made up of potato chip wrappers and cotton ball saran wrap. It shows the direction I'm going in, which is putting light spaces above the color, on top of the color, so that when I do my bigger pieces, I might be using silkscreen, but I will be definitely using lighter colors to give more dimension to the collage. Well, I find that it makes me nervous because it's, if it was one person, you can kind of second guess to what they might want to hear, but you have to be pretty straightforward, and I found them very receptive.
Today I showed 5 different ideas. 4 ideas were for possible group shows, and then 1 idea was for my own personal solo show. And my solo show deals with a series called the Blown Out Tire series. And what happened is, back in 2005, I was driving back and forth to Alabama a lot to visit my family, and over a period of time the road became mundane, and the only thing that seemed to be interesting were all this blown out tire shrapnel along the road. They took on sculptural elements, they created little voids along the side of the road. And so at one point, June 1st, 2006, I stopped, took one, threw it in the back of my truck, brought it back to Atlanta, and at this point have rendered it over 500 times in various sizes, all works on paper.
Wow.
And that is what I presented today at Eyedrum Show and Tell, because I would really, it's so vast at this point, I've not even seen all the work together. And I would really like to find a space that can exhibit it all at one time, so I can sort of let this obsession with this blown out tire go. I really like the process because last year I was on the committee, and it was great seeing the process from that side, but it's always really exciting for artists to come in. You never really know what you're going to see because it's all done online. Artists make appointments to come in at various times. You bring your work in, it can be the actual work or it can be slides, or I'm sorry, it can be a CD, and you just present your case to possibly get a show with Eyedrum that's been around for years.